is treason. So they're not committing overt acts to overthrow our government. What they're doing collectively is committing acts to rig our government and to stock it with people that they want in there, themselves and their acolytes.
What would be the harshest punishment you could see happening to some of these people?
Some of them being prosecuted. I mean, there's nothing harsher than that, right? Your civil liberties are taken away from you and you're sent to prison. It's about as harsh as it gets. We can do the financials. I think we need to do parallel track civil suits and prosecutions for monetary purposes against some of the big wigs in Wall Street and all that stuff that happens up in the financial racket. Insider trading stuff. There needs to be a multitude of things done, but I think the biggest punishment.
What about stuff like what was it, 51 intelligence?
Yeah. Strip their security clearances forever. Remember, every one of these people's in the private sector, and you know this, they use that to get 7- and 8-figure paydays, to get big government contracts, to go for big defense contracting and intelligence firms, right? Who owns their security clearance? The U.S. government. Who pays for it? The U.S. government. So the DNI can come in there on day one and said X, 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 all the way down the line. And they're not the only ones.
Do you think that will happen if Trump gets in? That seems like a very easy task. Pull these clearances now. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen at a lower level within the agency. Pull that guy's clearance.
Here's what, look, Trump speaks for Trump. I've recommended that to him. I can tell you that publicly and to your audience. I want him to do that because it's justified. It's not an act of vengeance. They have had the opportunity to recant, and all 51 of them have doubled down and tripled down. So pull him. I think he will, but it will be up to him and his DNI.
I mean, it is legitimately that simple, correct?
Yeah, not to mention the amount of money we'll save. And they're just one example of the 51, right? There's everybody that participated at the FBI in Russiagate. Everybody that participated in at DOJ in Russiagate. All these people have clearances. They all still have clearances. Gone. Same thing at CIA. Same thing at DOD. Same thing at NSA. I mean, the list will be massive. The 51 is just a very public-facing version of it.
What are some of the other ways we could get rid of them in your book?
I should know the short form of the book better. I'm failing on my chance to sell it. I think we've talked about like the bulk of the ones I want to do. Personnel. It's the one thing we haven't really discussed. Restocking. I don't consider it restocking. Everybody keeps talking about who's got the black book. You got to go in and fill 4,000 jobs. Why? Who the hell said you have to have 4,000 people come in with you? Why can't it be 1,000? No one's ever given me a good answer for that. Except that's the way we do things. That's the way we do transitions. That's the way the deep state works. Okay, well, that's not really a good answer. And then, if you decrease the amount of people in the cog, you've preempted
the cog?
The wheel, the whole wheel of government. Instead of having 67 people that can say no and don't want to follow your lawful command, you just have a chain of command that goes from point to point, right? So I think you need way less people. You don't need this massive number. I think that is a fiction of the deep state. Not to mention, again, you save money. Then you need to do a whole bunch of things with personnel. For instance, at FBI, you need to stock it with a director, deputy director, and the heads of the separate divisions. Same thing at CIA and DOD that are going to support. And the media, again, is distorting it already. Trump's going to install loyalists. Kash, Patel, the Trump loyalists. What does that even mean? Mm-hmm. If the guy gives me a lawful chain of command authority, you want me to not execute it? That's unlawful if I violate it. He was the president. If he's the president again, the same thing, should apply. So then we need to decrease what I call government creep with personnel. The FBI's footprint has gotten so freaking big, And the biggest problem the FBI has come out of its intel shops. I'd break that component out of it. I'd shut down the FBI Hoover building on day one and reopening the next day as a museum of the deep state. And I'd take the 7,000 employees that work in that building and send them across America to chase down criminals. Go be cops. You're cops. Go be cops. Go chase down murderers and rapists and drug dealers and violent offenders. What do you need 7,000 people there for? Same thing with DOJ. What are all these people doing here? Looking for the next government promotion, looking for their next fancy government title, looking for their parachute out of government. So while you're bringing in the right people, you also have to shrink government.
So massive government reform.
Yeah, you got to work with Congress to eliminate the billets. This is one of the things we did when I was deputy DNI. We got to DNI and I was like, okay, what do all these people do? We've got the CIA, so why do I have analysts doing the CIA's job here? Why do I have a floor of them? Like, give me a good answer. I don't know everything. I don't know a lot. But if you can give me an answer that satisfies their existence, I'm all in. Well, we just have our own people. Okay, well, now we don't. And we went to Congress and zeroed out a bunch of billets. And they hated us for it.
Why? Why would Congress hate you for that?
Not Congress, the public. Congress is like, great, you saved us money. You're the only agency that returned money this year because we didn't spend our entire budget. We were literally funding seats with no humans in them for years. And what the government creep that I was talking about is these agencies go to Congress every year. And again, this is why it's a thing of decades. I need 5 more seats here. I need 10 more seats here. Okay, you keep doing that. How's that going? Oh, we'll fill that seat next year. We're in the process of, interviewing people for that section. And it keeps, no one returns money. It's the biggest fiction in government that you can't return money. Every agency and department that I've ever worked for, when it comes to the fiscal end of the year, they're like, go on trips, go spend money.